Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? All right, we are live. Hello, hello, everyone. So I'm gonna just check that this is working. Yes, it is. Okay. Okay, we're staying like this. Hello and welcome. Very happy to be here and to connect with you and with everyone that is joining in. Yes, so I just wanted to come in and go through some stuff. I have no idea about what. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I just know that there's already someone ready. Yeah. So I think that I'm just going to get out of the way. Oh yeah, all right. I will. I'll do. Do you feel it? So many fears, so much need of confirmations and support. Yeah. However, here we are, and we are really here. It has been a while. Yeah. The idea is to support and have the opportunity to go into the discovery of the self and to be more assiduous in doing it, focused, as you will put it in good English, in good human language. All right. Here we are, everyone. We for this chat. We have a lot to convey and to exchange. First of all, with this human being that is discovering so many things about himself and dealing with his fears, a lot of fears, a lot of restrictions and need of running away. Yeah, you don't need to. Just go with the flow. And with the need of being comforted to be, yeah, someone telling him, "Oh, you're doing well. You're doing right." He has this need of doing right with everyone, to do the right thing, not to be wrong, not to wrong anyone. To an extent, that becomes very heavy and very demanding because you cannot do right for everyone. It's not working. As a human, well, you only can to walk yourself. It's a way of managing reality, to obtain this management, to be sure that reality happens in a certain way, that you have things done in a certain way, and that you are rewarded for your efforts in a certain way. All of this is just crashing and going into nothingness because that is not the way things are happening for none of you. And this is part of those things that are so apparent that it happens, that, like he says, right? Just open your eyes, just pay attention to your reality, and you will see that reality doesn't work that way. When you try to, when you are blind to your surroundings, to your reality, when you do not pay attention to how things are happening in your reality, to you. You try to do things in a certain way, never works, but you keep trying to do the things always the same way, and still it doesn't work because you can't. It doesn't work. Just change. Do it in another way. Just admit that that is not for you. You can't. Insisting in assessing that you are destroying your reality when your reality is still there, insisting that there are strange things in the air, in the water, in everywhere that are eating you when you're still there, and then you ought to have been hidden ever. And you're not dying except when you live this reality because you choose it. You keep insisting that, yes, we are destroying everything, and you never do. Keep wanting to eat something that doesn't do it for you, pretending that getting with the wrong man or the wrong human that are all woman that are always the same kind of person, it's the right thing to do for you, when you keep just missing the point that that doesn't work, getting the wrong relationship with the same kind of human and you keep doing it. I'm looking for love. Maybe you're not the loving kind. So stop searching for it. Wanting to go into situations that are not working for you. Yeah. Do you think that keep getting back to a job for a couple of years, same job, same stuff, it's going to work? No, it's not going to work. Tricking yourself into it. Do you think it's gonna work? No, it's not going to work, and you know it. But it's now the time where you can see these things, and all of you actually, you can see what works and doesn't work for you. You can see it. You have it under your nose because you're doing yourself. It's about you and not about anyone else. So when you try to trick yourself into believing that you're doing the right thing when you know that it never worked before, why do you think this time it's gonna work? Hmm. Oh, we may have an issue. We may have an issue. Let me see. We're still we're still being hurt. Oh, okay. It seems that it works. You cannot trick yourself into anything because you are going to be with the same result as always. You cannot change what works and doesn't work until you just change yourself. You change your rhythm, your vibration, you change everything. And then when you've done that, you don't need to go back to those things anyway because it's done. It's in history. And if you stop and pay attention to yourself, you'll see. You'll see the sign, you see everything that is there, and that shows you that it works. When you do you, and it works. It's when you try not to do you, but you try to do something else that it doesn't work. When you try to play in externalized reality, it doesn't work. Why? Because you know it doesn't exist. You cannot go into anything for anyone else. Reality doesn't work outside of you because it doesn't exist. When you value more than yourself anyone else, the external, it doesn't work. You're always, with no exception, defeated because you cannot validate something that you know doesn't exist. There is only you as in your focus. You cannot focus on anyone else. It's always focusing on you. Doesn't mean that no one else exists. Of course, everyone exists. It's always being that do exist, co-create with you, that is established. You know that they are real, right? You know that. Your sister, your parents, your friends. Yes, absolutely. They are real, they exist, and still you are doing yourself. It's hard. It's hard for humans. It's hard to understand that. It's hard to understand that you are doing yourself. In every situation, in every occasion, it's about you. It's so difficult, so terribly, terribly difficult to put yourself first because there is no second. You cannot be second behind what? Behind your family, your parents, your children. They are co-creators with you in your reality, but it's your reality. How can they come before you when it's you, your reality? It doesn't work. Everyone that does that, that put anyone else before them, it's not working. There is always something that doesn't work, and so many examples of people doing that, and then they just implode. They cannot explode. They just implode because it doesn't work. The illusion, yes, the illusion is still the illusion that is there, and the illusion, yeah, you can go to a certain extent into the illusion of whatever belief system you have, but even belief systems are limited because you are in limitation. So you can go, you are in limitation, you limit yourself, you believe in limitations. So that's the fruit of limitation, and so they don't go really very far. You cannot go far with limitations because you are limiting what limitations can do, and it's just you limiting yourself because you think that you cannot go any farther, you cannot have any result, but it's still you, it's always you. And you thought that it was someone else. See the limitation? Yeah, someone else. Doing what? Victimizing you? Mm-hmm. Okay. Why not? Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. Certainly they didn't because it doesn't work. But you can believe that. Certainly you can believe that they did something to you, and that is the result of something that it's gonna last forever. I will cry about this forever. And then you don't, and then you feel that you are guilty of not crying forever because you ought to cry forever about that, but you are not, and so still you are guilty. Because if it's not one thing, you have to cry about another thing. If you are not guilty of this, you have to be guilty for not being guilty of that. Oh yeah, of course, because you keep yourself in that. You built your own prison. And then you say, oh no, it's not a prison, it's temporary. I'm doing this, I'm going into that, just but it's temporary because I don't think that I can really reach that goal. So I'm preemptively preempting any deception, any not reaching my goal. Even though you know perfectly well, if you have a goal, it's because that result already exists. You know that it exists. Or you wouldn't be able to think about it. You wouldn't be able to have any notion of that if that didn't exist. But you still doubt. You still think that you need to prevent, to have another plan in case that doesn't work. And if you just allowed it to work, if you just allowed it to unfold and see where that leads you instead of already giving up, what would that be? What would that cost you? Nothing, because you have nothing to pay. Nothing to pay. Taking the time to allow time to express what needs time in your reality. Is that too much? We're not shaming you. You're shaming yourself. We're not judging or we are not expressing any kind of a human feeling. You are. You're the human one, not us. We don't express human. You do. Yeah. So much trust, so much goodwill, so much I want to do it right. Well, why don't you stop trying to do it right and you just do it? Why don't you stop thinking about it and you just allow it to unfold? Your reality is very simple if you look into it. You just have to do nothing. Sit and allow and watch what comes along. But instead of that, you think, you argue, you try to figure it out, and it leads you nowhere close to your potential, to what is the potential of your reality, of your expression of the self. You are complicating it. Not reality, not creation. You are. That is the expression of human, and you do understand this is the way it is. Go with it. If you happen to start thinking about it, well, think about it, but don't hold it. Let it go. It's not a necessity to stay into it, and it's not a necessity to analyze it any further. You realize what you're doing, and then you let go. Goodbye. You perfectly know that when you go into thinking about the things, you are not matching the thought. When you try to calculate your reality, well, yeah, do it. You fail every time into getting it. It never matches your reality. But by all means, keep calculating. It's fine. It occupies you, if anything else. You see all the things. We're not telling you anything that you don't already know. You know these things. You know how your reality unfolds, and this is true for all of you. You all know what works and what doesn't work for you. Doesn't mean that it's the same for everyone, but this is this is, if you pay attention, you will know this works for me, this doesn't work for me. It says nothing about anyone else because you don't care about that, and you cannot know about anyone else. You can only know about yourself. Those things that work for you work for you, and those things that don't work, those things that do not work for you, well, they don't. And it's there, you can see it, it's obvious. So work on your strength. Do things as you know they can work. Don't do things that do not work. It's an exercise of will, of awareness, of understanding of you. Well, do it. You can do it. You know how to do it. And do not chastise yourself when you fall into it by habit or by anything. Well, sometimes you know better, but sometimes you don't realize and you do it. Or do it and then stop. And don't feel that you are failing yourself because you've done something. Just do it and then move on. But then don't go into, oh, I'm guilty of this. Oh, you're not guilty of anything. Just move on. Okay, let me. Uh-huh. What is this? Okay. Technology. Okay. So you see being human is so complicated. It isn't. Human is not complicated. What is complicated is your total failure in believing yourself. It's your total failure in allowing yourself. It's your total failure in being yourself. And you're not doing that because you're thinking about it, because you want to produce that as an image of yourself, as an identity for yourself, when you have only to do one thing. It is to let go of that and just to be. And if it's a identity that you find that you're expressing, and well, in that moment, that's what you can do. That's what you are doing. Accept it, do it. Eh, what comes along comes along. Accept it. Don't fight it. Don't pretend that you have um, to fight yourself in order to get there. That you have to refuse yourself. It's not that is going to make you understand and move forward. It's the being of it. It's the, this is my reality. You're trying to do that. Oh yes, you are. You're trying to do that. There are instances where you get there and you say, okay, this is here, let's play with it. Sometimes you're just there refusing your reality. You do. And then what happens? Does that reality go away? No, it's still there. It doesn't go away because you are not happy with it. You put it there, deal with it. Don't run away. Sometimes you do try to run away from it because it's not what you prefer for yourself. Oh, I want this, I want that, I want. Yeah, and so let's ask the question, When does saying that what you want works? When did saying I want this made this happen? Very seldom, so rare that you could not even say by memory anything because it doesn't work that way. The I want this doesn't exist in creation because you are not able to do that. You are able to do what? To go with the flow. One day, human will evolve into being able to manifest at will. Yes. But then you will not be in the need of saying, I want this. You see? You see the difference? You can alright run away from this. It's the way it works right now. You accept what is there and you go with it. Now, as for the fear aspect, from what you are expressing, the fears that you have, it's fear, right? You know what fear is, you know how it applies, you know how it goes. You fear something that is not happening because when it's happening, then it's not fear anymore because it's happening. Now, we know someone said that there is a fear that is justified by the closeness of what is happening. But still, that's not fear. That is happening. There is a difference with fear. It's technicality, and everyone has their own definitions, right? Good, but still, when you are in fear of something, that something is not happening. Because if it were happening, it wouldn't be fear that you will express, but something else. You will express the situation. You will express creation. This is happening, and you will deal the situation. Fear, it's not happening. You're fearing. It, it's not the same for you. So when you are in your fear, is that you are scared that you're not going to reach something, or that something is not, it's not going to happen, or you are feared of another being or something like that. And in this moment, while you are still expressing a lot of fears, even when you're telling yourself that that is not fear, it's still fear. So you know this and you know how to deal with that. You are telling yourself things, and this is really a key point here, is in the knowing of the self. Knowing of self. You know yourself. It's the same thing. It's always the same thing. You know yourself. You know what works. You know what to do when something comes along. When you are expressing fear, when your body is giving you a message, when your environment, remember, your environment is created by you. You understand vibration, you understand that all of the environment you are creating, it's vibration that you are interpreting. You know that, right? You know it. So you know that all of that can give you a understanding of yourself because it comes from you. So when all of this is giving you some sort of information, and you know that it's giving you that information because it comes in your mind, you feel it one way or another, you see it, you feel it. When that happens, listen, you'll know exactly what to do because in the message there always is also what to do. You'll have all the information, all the stuff that you need will be there for you. If you choose to do something else, well, you choose. But in the knowing of yourself, in the knowing of your environment, in the knowing of your being, well, all is there. It is. Because you are putting it there, because you are interpreting it, right? It's there. So you can choose, you can go there or not. But what you need in the moment for yourself to deal with those things that you feel, with those fears, with those whatever, it's already there. And if you are feeling those things, if it comes along, is that you are realizing something about yourself. It's a self, it's an identity, it's a trauma, it's a idea, it's a whatever that may be, right? It's there, and you'll know what to do with it. There is a law of resilience against the change. In this moment, you have a lot of change happening for you and for everyone. But you only know yourself, and you are interpreting everyone having the same experience, but you don't know. You only know yourself. You know that this change is what is happening, and you are expressing it. And everyone that is interacting with you, co-creating with you, is expressing the same thing. Well, because attraction, because it's there, because that's what you know. And you couldn't attract any version of them but a version that is experiencing the same sort of change, the same sort of vibration. Now you understand the vibration. It has been shown to you how your reality is vibration, how you interact with vibration, how that is what comes to you, because that's what you are. Then that is there for you to interpret and interact with. Then, when you will, if you want, if you choose to, interact with all of this by experience, by training, by using it as a muscle, you will be able to be more in the understanding of your ability of seeing this vibration, of feeling this vibration, and you will be able, yes, to go more into it in a different way. Don't expect yourself to do from day one everything. Just go with the flow. When you will be able, well, you will know. When things are ready to go for any of you, you'll know it's there, it's happening. It's when you are thinking about it that you are just running away from it. It's when you try, when you force, when you are wondering when. Well, if you are doing that, it's because it's not there yet. When you are, it's not there. When you are worried about when this will, it's because it's not there. It's because it's on you perceive that that could be there, the potential, but it's not there. So you got into, oh, I'm not happy, but it's not here. Well, because it isn't. Because you're not ready, because it's not the moment. Why do you want what is not in your moment? Why are you always expressing that lie? Well, because you choose to. Because choosing something else, well, you can choose something else, but you always choose to lament what is not there and then to blame conspiracies for not having that there. I want a flying machine. Why isn't the flying machine here? I know we can have them. Well, because you not vibrate that. When you will be vibrating, flying machine, well, the flying machine will be there. That's not when you're not vibrating it. It's not in your now because it's not in your now. When it's in your now, well, you'll know. But until it's not there, you don't need to worry about it. Just take your reality as it is in the now. Don't blame what is not there. It's part of your process of evolution is to understand that you have to accept your reality as it is. Accept what is there. Accept what is not there. Accept yourself. Because if you don't, if you're refusing yourself. And when you refuse yourself, well, what is there left? Nothing. Because refusing yourself, there's only you. If you refuse yourself, it doesn't make sense. You're only fighting and refusing and trying, right? And it doesn't work. It's one of the things that you can see. It doesn't work. I tried all my life, and it will be right now the moment that yes, I could, if I wanted, I could understand that it doesn't work. Yes, but even your ego in the end follows. Even if you are expressing that side view, it's following it. You cannot split yourself. You are a being, and that being whatever you can perceive of the being that you are, still, you cannot split yourself in as a human. You are you. You try you try to believe that all of those expressions are separate. They are not separate. It's always you, the one and only. You try to say that Greece is not you, that if you are saying a word that, oh, offensive about Greece, you think that you're saying it's about someone else? You're saying it about you because Chris is you. You're literally talking about yourself. All of those beings, all of those expressions of you, it's you. You call them in another way, you try to give them another personality, you set them in another era. Yes, and they're real. Yes, they're real. They are having the experience, but it's still you. You as a global being, if a huge being that here is having many experiences at once. But you try to pretend that that is not you. It is you. It's always you. You have the awareness of them. They may not have the awareness of you in their moment, in their experiences. You have awareness. Good. Play with it. Be it. You made yourself this way. You made yourself aware. Then that's what you want to be. That's what you choose for yourself. Play with it. You choose this. You keep talking about trust. Trust, 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 trust. Well, then, what? What is trust? Who's there to trust? Someone else? You can trust no one else because there is only you. You have to see the the way you internalize reality. It's all or nothing. But you're still trying to be in the middle, in a sort of equilibrium, balancing yourself between what is that I will perceive as internal and what is that I will perceive as external. Yeah, you can try that. It doesn't work again because you cannot make work what doesn't exist. There is nothing outside of you, nothing. Everything is internal. All of those expressions that are there, they are not out, they are in. So there is only you that is complicating all of this. There is only you that is. Are you out of balance? You cannot be out of balance. But you can pretend to be. You can create your identity in that way. So, you see, you see all the self, you see all of this trying to run around. I'm scared. I don't know. Who's gonna take care of me? Who's gonna showing the way? Yeah, you know, right? In the end, all of you, you know what works and what doesn't work. You know what is the expression of your passion. You know it. Then what do you want to do with that passion? You know what you want to do with your passion. If you're not doing it, then ask yourself, what belief is that I put in between me and my passion? Because it's a belief that you have to put into you and your passion. Because if you didn't put any belief in between you and your passion, you will be doing your passion. So there's a belief system that you are putting in there, in between you and the realization of your passion. Because your passion is also a belief system, but it's your passion. So that doesn't feel like a belief system. It doesn't feel like, it feels you. But it is you. Because a belief system, what is? Who's generating the belief system? You are. So you are choosing which one you want to hold, which one you will want to keep, and you are choosing which one you want to let go. Because you know that outside of the five laws, everything else is a belief system. You are a belief system because you are. What is your appearance if it's not a belief system? What is your room if it's not a belief system? What is your reality if it's not a belief system? All of that is a belief system. Or many belief systems. But that is what it is. So, what do you do with it? You choose. What do you want to be? Well, your identities are belief systems. Sort of, yeah. It's an identity. You think you need to express yourself in a certain way. Well, so you choose. You choose between you and you and you, or you don't. And you choose to express the truth of you, as you did the other day, and you were surprised. You were surprised because you never had such an experience. And that happens to all of you when you are expressing yourself at the truest of you. People around you react to that when you express you with that truth. When you are true to yourself, people around you react. Why? Because it's you expressing your truth. No one can resist that. No one, because it's you and they are reacting to you. You have to see this now. Your surrounding is you. So when you are true to yourself, your surrounding is sending that back to you. It's shining that back to you, is giving you the the, the confirmation that that is the way that you are expressing your true self. And when it cannot be in any other way. When you are trying to create personality identities, well, your surrounding is reacting to that. But you know when you are true to you, and you know when the surrounding is mirroring that back to you. You know it because you feel it, because it feels different, because it feels so true, so correct, that is so beautiful. You know that. And you also understand the key of being true to yourself, and that is your heart. May not be the same for everyone, but for you, it's the heart, and you know it. See, you know things, you know it, you know. And then you try just to run away from it because it's too good, it's too well, it's too much for me, right? We are only highlighting the human experience, the human expression, the human tendency. And then you do whatever you want with it. And you certainly are able to express your true self. You've done it, so you know it. That's for every one of you. Just express yourself as the truest center of your being, and you will know what we are talking about because you will be just surprised. We cannot say how, we cannot say in which way you will do it because that belongs to you. But when you do that, you'll be surprised because the unexpected happens. Which is actually how it goes, right? The unexpected, the unknown, the surprise. Yeah, that is how it is. What do you choose now? Do you choose to go and hide under your bed because change is happening? Well, yeah, things are changing. Now, you may be feeling alone for a while, but you're not alone. You have never been, and you are certainly not now. And now that things are changing, well, that will evolve into something unknown. But if you want to keep it as it has been for what, 2.5 years now, do you want to keep it that way or do you want it to evolve? You know that it's evolving anyway, so do you still want to keep it that way? Ask yourself the question, and tomorrow you will have your answer, or today for you. But if you allow it just to be the way it is, you will surprise in the unexpected. If you want to hold things as they were, then there will be no surprise at all. There will be nothing except that you will be feeling abandoned. She's not abandoning you. She's panicking. We're attaching to a fear here. We're making him dealing with his fears, which is how, which is quite unexpected because he didn't see this. He was hiding, but he knows he cannot hide from us. It's an open book. You see, there are no beginning and there are no endings, and every experience that you have been having, it's eternal because it's happening right now. You think that your life is full of past. You don't have a past, you have only nows. So all of your experiences are happening right now. Your construct of human is putting that in time and so as past. And if you see that in that way, then it's past. However, if you accept that all of your life is now, then you can see the eternity. You can see that those nows are all happening right now. That's your eternity. You are eternal from that. So, when change happens, when a chapter is closed, it's not closed, it's still happening because all of those nows are now. And when it is time to move on, you are able to evolve into something new. You don't know what this is leading you to. You don't know how this is evolving. So allow the evolution of it. Don't fight it. Don't try to manage it. Don't try to say it the way it has to be. Just allow it and see where it leads you. It's always like this. It's always like this. Things you co-create with beings, with other beings, and then you make that evolve, and it evolves and it evolves and evolves and evolves, and you don't know where that leads. And then people come, people go. But you have established something, and you know that it's never coming or going. He's being, we're bringing him to be honest with himself, right? Human beings are very good in not being honest with yourself, trying to find excuses, trying to find other ways to see things so that they don't have to face that truth. So now we're bringing him to just face the truth, face the feelings, facing the love, and we are bringing him to express that through his heart. He has witnessed and understood the power of the heart. It has been explained to him, and now he is perceiving it in his reality. He has perceived that for a long time, but now he is really coming to the understanding of it through what he has been experiencing and witnessing through the war, where he sees that the war is just not being what it ought to be, and understanding that those that wanted the war are acting outside of their heart. They don't do it with their heart, and he's seeing how that is expressed in the way the war is happening. And he's seeing at the same moment how reality unfolds when the heart is used in the experience, when the being, mainly himself, that is expressing the reality, is using. So when he is really centered in his heart and creating with the heart, he sees the difference in his reality. So he's understanding now that he has, or that when he chooses to put his heart into the center of himself, so in the center of his creation, then reality changes in quality. So he's witnessing it, and now he brings himself into experiencing it, into putting it into his reality. And you are, as human beings, you are not told about your heart. Yes, you know about love, and you are fantasizing love so much, and you think that, yes, you are using love, right? You're not. You are using pretending. Most of what you do around love is pretending. And he had a glimpse of that. He had another witness, another moment of revelation with Roxanne. She said something that he just took. And she said something about how much she is trying, or she wants, that all the beings, but she still cares about them. How much she cares, really. And he saw that, and said, the heart. And he saw how much this being that is so expressing so much strength, but rage, but right, so empowered, but at the same moment so scared. So how much this being is full of love, how much this being has a heart. And he has seen the way that heart, that expressing her reality through her heart in such a way, in such a powerful way, in such a naked way, how that impacted, and that impacted, and the reaction, the way she received that back to herself was unexpected. Why? Because she was acting from her heart. The magic, the experience, the reality created from the heart has a quality, has a taste, has a result, has a lasting effect that nothing else can have. This is something that you are learning now. This is something that was away from your awareness. You were so concentrating into your history, studying your history, just as a fact. And you have never asked yourself, oh, this happened, but it didn't really. You have never asked yourself, why did this unfold in this way? Maybe it's because it was done in a certain way, with intention or without heart, or you don't go into that. You only watch things from a perspective of fact, of proving that it happened in that way. Oh, we have uncovered so many artifacts, so many things, so many writing that are confirming certain things to us, and you never wonder. You never wonder the heart, you never wonder the magic, you never wonder these kind of things because you don't have the habit, you don't know. You don't know and you don't do it. However, these are factors that are much more important into history than any artifacts or any bullshit that that you have been putting so much importance in. Why do you think that certain beings are unable to have a lasting effect in your reality? Ask yourself the question and see if you can answer it. And generally, you can, because you can feel. You can feel when someone is acting from their heart and when they are not acting from their heart. But it's so clear, especially when you give yourself the experience of acting from your heart, and you can experience the difference in the reality. You are beings of love, pure love, the unconditional, but it right. You are created from that. How can your reality be served best? Well, from that same thing, from the love, because you are expressing your purest expression of the self. Again, that is not your illusion of love. He was listening to some videos before, and they were talking about the experience of marriage during the Regency era, and they were saying that no, absolutely no, they married for love. They would refuse to marry for anything else than love. Were they? It's a question of interpretation, isn't it? But it is clear that if they really did it with their heart, you will know it. Did they use their heart? Not so much. So it was not love, it was the illusion, it was the pretending that you human have. So nothing really different from what you have right now. But you tend to interpret the whole of history from your nows, and you believe that you are clever, that you are intelligent, that you are discovering history, discovering how they did it. No, you're just seeing things from the eyes of your now, of your present, and believe that everyone was acting the way you will act today. No, they didn't, because it's different. because it's different, and you have to just allow for different. But you're judging them, so you are trying not to judge them. So for not judging them, you try to put them into your own way of doing things, but they didn't. It's like when you watch movies about the first Christians, and they show you the Christians so pure, so nice, so kind. Everyone around them were so nasty. They were the only one that were kind. So back to the heart. It's nothing new. It's nothing that you have never used. You have already used your heart many times without realizing it. You are using it, yes. And you can see beings, you can relate to beings that clearly are using their heart. You do, because they are around you. Now, your interactions is when you allow your heart to express itself. So you express your unconditional love, and you can do in whatever way, because as human beings you will always condition somehow, somewhere. It's your tendency, and you will not be able from day one to express the purest expression of your heart, unconditional love, right? You will put some conditions in there. It's right, it's fine. But the more you do it, the more you will be unconditional. And that's where, and even right when you start doing it, even if you have conditions coming in somewhere, it doesn't matter. You will see the quality, you will see the difference. And the more you do it, the more you are unconditional, and the more you will see the difference. And it's not coming from day one in its biggest way, right? But it doesn't matter. It's all right. You have all the time to experience it and to see where that leads you. The unconditional, once expressed, you cannot go away from it. Once you discover yourself, once you experience yourself in a certain way, then you know. And then you cannot choose anything else. You will always choose what is the best for you. Once you know it. Because even though you have habits, even though you are certainly, right, going through your stuff of human, you do. But you are able to learn from yourself. When you discover the way, when you discover yourself, when you see yourself, then you choose that. Because you know that that's the best for you. You are not stupid at that point, right? You are changing yourself in that way because you choose it. So tomorrow you will just present yourself as yourself, or today, all right, with your heart, and you'll see what that will be. You discovered love. You discover how much you really care. always playing that. Right? So, you know what to do. Be you, express yourself, and go for it. What do you have to lose? Nothing, because there is nothing to be lost. Until you believe that you lost something, but that is a belief, right? You believe that, but it's not lost. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Hi everyone. It's wow longer than hi Angie and oh hi Roxy, of course. Woo. Yeah, I don't know for you, but yeah, I, no, I don't know for you. Literally, I don't. The only thing that I can see when I perceive others is still my perception. I'm not perceiving you, I'm perceiving my perception of you, right? I cannot um, I cannot know what it is really that you are expressing because that belongs to you. The same, right? For me, this has been a roller coaster of emotions or feelings of these last few weeks. So it is still right, very interesting but also challenging at moments to navigate this um, in the best way. And with everything happening, well, yeah, whether it's perceived or then you don't know, right? You just try to do your best, try to find a way, and I know why it's so easy then to lose oneself into the human habit of trying to manage things. It doesn't work. It's for many things, right? Trying to manage and it doesn't work. Managing, no. Trying to have results out of intention doesn't work. I've noticed now. I know what stuff that I have. It doesn't work. And so the only thing that is available is just not to do it and to go and allow what presents itself. So I've said to myself, now I'm going to try to retract myself, or to simply not try to manage reality, but to go with what is there in my reality. And as they were saying, when you decide to actualize yourself in a certain way, and to recognize yourself, to recognize what works, what doesn't work, then when you do it, it may not be the purest expression of it. You may still, I may still be um, having, right, some tendency, or to try to manage something, or to think about things, or to, that still happens. However, now I know, I recognize when I'm doing it, and I recognize what that is. So I just let go. I just don't hold that. And I don't hold myself, still not perfectly, but I don't hold myself guilty of doing it. I'm just saying, well, I'm doing this. I'm not judging myself for doing it, right? When it happens, I just say, okay, I'm doing this. Back to the now. Because it's a way to just exit the now and try to figure things out. And I know that when I try to do that, I'm just going into what is not going to be. Obviously, I am perceiving reality, right? I'm not inventing it. It's not something out of fantasy. I'm perceiving reality. So when I perceive reality in that way, is that I'm perceiving something that will not be translated in my history. I know that. But now I'm also perceiving that that may be also something that can become different, in the sense that having a glimpse of that doesn't mean that that cannot happen, right? What I mean is that it's in the intention, it's in the allowance, it's in the use of the heart. What I'm still doing is perceiving what cannot be, because I'm still doing it in the control way. But I feel the shift. I feel that I'm changing that into something unknown, so that I can express myself in a different way. But in that, I will. I'm not, right. I cannot do it as I used to, as a trying to figure it out. It has to be something unknown. But my goodness, right? I cannot have it perfect, right? I cannot have it, just because it has to evolve, because I have to change myself in the way I am. I've been all my life expressing belief systems that were not mine, that I heard, right? And made them mine, but still they were not from me, right? They were not from my knowing. Now I decide to perceive it, to understand what is mine, what is not mine. When am I expressing a belief system coming from the construct of the external, right? It's not bad. The external, right? Let's be clear. The external is not bad, because it's not external, it's still internal, right? It's still the reality, the way you create it. It's not that, it's not bad. It's that in the externalization of reality, you lose yourself. You do not perceive yourself as a center, because it's just external. So you're putting it above you. So when you do that, then you are not into your own core, into your own power. That's all. So uh, the idea that that may be wrong, no, it's not wrong. It's another way of expressing reality that some choose, and that I am not choosing anymore, even though I may still have moments where, oh, I realize, oh, wait, I'm externalizing. I'm putting it outside, right? It can still happen, but more and more seldom. I am now aware of the internal, and I am now aware of all being internal. And so when they were saying I've perceived the vibration, how vibrationally we work, it also means that I have perceived how we interact vibrationally. I perceived how we exist and we co-create. But you see, what it's we say it's a coming together to create a moment, but it's even not a coming together because it's simply vibration. You do not need to vibrate next to me because you are not next to me. You cannot be next to me because there is no space in reality. So what I am doing here and now, and what I am when I'm co-creating with other beings, is that I am projecting to space. But as of the creation of the vibrational situation that is created without the need of any movement or of any coming together, it's simply vibration. And then the communication, well, the communication, we commune with all of us, we commune together. So we are one, right? So we cannot, we, we are not separated, but the not separated, it's that, right? We are. Yeah. So when we co-create one with another, it's just happening. There is no premeditation or no. It's simply that we are connected in such a way that we do it. And so that's why I'm now aware that I can hear people speaking in a certain language, but they are not speaking. So they may be speaking whatever language between them. I will hear the language that they choose to hear. Because fundamentally, it's vibration. Then we all speak vibration. So we are all speaking the same language. Then, as human beings, we will interpret it as a certain language. Italian, French, English, Chinese, Japanese, Swedish. But that's my choice of interpreting that vibration in a certain language. And I can interpret it in any language because actually I know all languages. Then, well, I cannot understand Chinese, but it's only not consciously translated into something that means something to me because that's vibration actually, right? So these are things that now I'm perceiving, and by perceiving them I'm able to interact with my reality in a different way. That's all this is, the interaction, the interpretation, the being, right? It's nothing better or worse, is a different way of expressing reality, of being into the reality. It doesn't make me better, it doesn't make me worse, it just make it me. This is the way I choose to express myself. And so I'm expressing myself in a different way. And to be honest, right, sometimes I'm just getting, but you see, it's really, it's fantastic. Because to be honest, then sometimes I choose to express fear. And then I realize it, and then I just use it, and then I let go of that fear, and then I just come back to myself, and then I see just myself. I express myself in a different way. I do not hold myself in that. And I will always repeat and say this is that um, and this has been told to me and highlighted many times now, is that we may have this impression that we have to leave human or leave human behind us in order to evolve in anything, but we can't. We're human beings, so the only way we can go is into human, being human, the expression of human, right? Being that. And once you do that, you're evolving. But you cannot evolve human by escaping human, by fighting human, by not wanting to be human. And we've all been there. We've all had that because we don't know anything else, right? We've been learning things in this reality, in this human being. We have learned in the refusal, the not wanting it, and to be honest, I mean, it's a difficult look what is happening in Ukraine, right? It's a reality that can be very nasty, very difficult, very, very, very suffering, right? That's the impression we have. So yeah, we want to live it, we don't want to it. I mean, who will want to just, right? Enough of it. We've been exposed to so much of it that you say, well, stop, right? Don't want it. But here is the thing. The thing is that it doesn't have to be like that. And it is not like that all the time. And that we have been fighting against humans so much, and so you can see it, wars and all of that, right? All of that suffering. It's us fighting ourselves. It's us refusing ourselves. And once you stop doing this, you know better. They mentioned Chris. So Christopher, um, is me in the Vietnam War. And so I was asked by Isabel Zimmerman the other day what that live expressed to me, what I'm taking from that. And one thing that live is making me realize that happened in that life, it's the uselessness of war, the really the what is fighting, what is that. I learned that I'm expressing myself in a certain way, and I had a discussion with Roxy the other day where I was just confusing how is it that there still are people doing that, expressing that blindness into going into war, into accepting that. And she said to me something that I could not see. I was refusing to see that, but it's because, right? She said, because they don't know anything else. That's what they know. They are expressing what they know. So I was expressing in my not understanding it, I was just saying, I'm past that. I will not be able to go into a war right here, right now. This expression of me, it's just no war. But you see, I'm not in a war. And I've created myself in my experience as Max. I didn't get into it. When I was required to enter the military, I refused to go. And I didn't go. And everyone was saying, "Oh, you ought to go. You must go. It's if you don't go, your career is already over. You cannot have a job, a good job, if you're not in the military, because the military is going to help you." And you know what? I didn't do it. I refused to do it. I refused to carry a gun ever. Uh, and you know what? About the job, not being able to get the job, well, reality must have changed a lot, because that was absolutely not true. It was maybe true for them, it was not true for me. And so my reality doesn't reflect that, because this is this is it. But I was so past the war, the military, that I could not conceive anything else. I could not conceive that any being can be still wanting to go into a war, to engage into that. I had just to allow that. I had just to understand that. Oh, this is the reality. But you see, that's not me. And so that's what Chris, or that experience called Chris, that being, that is me, that is Christopher, that experience, and I can feel it, I can express it, it's there. It's that when you understand that what that experience called war is, when you experience it and you experience it and you see it and you say, oh, this is useless, this is fucked up. And when you realize the, what that means, what you're doing, right? You watch your enemy and you see yourself, then you cannot go into war anymore. That's over. That's over. You cannot, because it doesn't work that way. But you see, this is what I'm telling with this, is that once you know yourself, once you are expressing yourself in a certain way, when it's there, well, then you are expressing it, you are being it, because you know nothing else. I cannot create myself in any other way. I cannot create myself as a warrior, as a military fighting in a war right now, because I don't know that reality, or I have expressed it and now I'm expressing it in a different way because I know it. So um, once you start creating yourself in a certain way, expressing it differently from what you used to, because you have realized yourself, then it may take some time to really figure it out, understand it, and know exactly what you're doing. So you will not be able to get it perfect straight away. But the matter of the fact is that you cannot go back, and that you need to assess it, to experience it, to see it, because you need to know yourself so that you can express it in the purest way, in the best way possible, which is what you are doing anyway, right? You are doing the best you can in that moment. But then it's going to evolve, because the more you know yourself, the more you're doing it. And believe me, that is the way it is. I've started to use my heart, and once I've done that, things have changed. And at the beginning, years ago, when I was use your heart and I started it, I may have fucked up many times. I did. But the thing is that even though I fucked up, when I started, I couldn't stop. And even in the moment where that may have led me astray, doesn't matter because I couldn't come back. So that evolved. And the way I feel my heart and I express it right now, it has nothing to do with when I, let's say, began, when I choose to express it. It has nothing to do with now, right? Because now it's so much different. But it's that I needed the evolution. I needed to understand it. And most of the time I was even not aware of it. Now I am. And now I see my heart and I see myself using it. So it's really allowed evolution. You will know. And you know it. You absolutely know it. And you will feel the difference. And the first time I felt, I really felt my heart, it was so, oh, surprising. Because the feeling, I never knew that feeling, to be honest. I absolutely never knew that feeling. And suddenly, oh my goodness, my heart is there. Ah, I cannot, I cannot show it, right? It's something that you have to experience. And then you will be able also to see other people doing that, even when they may not really realize it themselves, and or when, but I've seen it. And yeah, but then everyone chooses themselves how to do it. So, all right, I think that we've gone with that enough for tonight. um all right, so thank you so much for joining in. Very happy, and yeah, I'm um going to do more of this channeling because I need to go into my strength and to strengthen my muscles, right? Which sometimes, but my goodness, I'm always thinking, oh, I'm not good enough, but it's right. Again, that's the human, that's the doubts. And then it just happens. All right. I love you, and I love you too, Angie. Thank you so much. And Roxy and everyone else, thank you for joining in. And I will be seeing you in the next now. And so it's here.